Oh shit, here we are again. Yeah, it's been a while, and I just changed my camera back to where it was originally. I don't know, I felt like the change back would be a welcome change of pace, I guess. So, still working out the bugs on that, I guess. But yeah, it's Tuesday, and it's Tuesday. That's the gist of my week so far. I spent a good deal of yesterday with food poisoning, so I didn't get as much accomplished as I was hoping I would. Yeah. However, as we speak, I am currently finishing the last page or two of the 5th chapter for Panic, after going back and rechanging details about 2-3 dozen times. Just how I wanted the flow of the chapter to go, how I wanted particular events to happen. It's difficult when you have a mind as chaotic as mine, I guess. Just kind of running my head against a wall, thinking of how I want it to go, and then changing how I want it to go, and then having to go back and change things earlier on in order to fit how those things go. Yeah, it's kind of hectic. Other than that, I've been slowly tweaking more details for the dice engine for Soulblade. As I said before, I'm trying to get my friend Corey to help me out. Alphard, you guys have seen him in my other streams. Trying to get the magic system established and actually lining up spells and how they're going to function, rather than just taking direct rips over from Pathfinder and D&D, because that's just boring and cheap. So, tweaking things and making my own system to work with the other systems that I've already implemented and made, and trying to get things done that way. It'll still be a while till another real update comes out for that. As I said, I'm currently finishing the latest chapter for Panic. I've been putting it off. Not really putting it off, I've been trying to do as many minor details as I can, and working with what time I have. Because at the end of the day, 8 hours of working in a warehouse, I come home and I'm dead. I don't have any energy to want to do anything. Which, that's just how it works. You reach adulthood and you work. That's about it. Let's see here. This will probably be a short one. I don't really have anything to talk about, and don't have anybody here to talk to. Given last week's stream was insane, I did not expect to have 15-20 people actually drop in the short time that I was on. And so many people actually commenting. Watch this, please. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to trust a YouTube link right now while I'm streaming. Especially with the format of it. I will check that out later. Let's see, what else do I got going on here? Top engines being tweaked. Panic's being worked on. What else do I have to chat about? I'm writing a lot of things, actually. If you're watching this on Twitch, which I assume you are, because that comes pretty much the only chat that pops up right now. Right below is a link to my Patreon. Everything that I have written is on Patreon right now. And I'm currently working on the latest chapters for everything on top of my D20 Dice Gaming Engine, which from the ground up is taking quite a while because I don't really have a lot of time outside of work to work on it. And I'm also working on a game on top of several other writing prompts and things that I'm trying to get started. Having ADD is a hell of a time, I'll tell you that much. Um, the hardest part is actually just focusing on things and getting things worked on. Yeah, the writer's block is just the name of this stream, because I suffer from severe writer's block at times. One of my major projects, which is one that I've been working on for, almost 14 years now. I started it out as like a 8-page writing prompt back in my high school freshman year English class, and it turned into a D&D Pathfinder campaign, and now it's one of the most long stories that I've written, and the biggest world that I've designed so far. And, yeah, trying to figure that out, because the end of the latest chapter, I just hit a wall. Yeah, I appreciate the thought. I don't find myself particularly impressive, and I'm kind of a pessimist, so I don't really accept compliments and stuff like that very well. But I appreciate the thought, thank you. Other than that, as I said, everything that I have written and have done is on my Patreon for anybody to read. Patrons themselves, even just the $1, get access to the newest stuff 1 month early. As of this year, I've been changing around how my rewards work and stuff like that. Obviously, the higher tier rewarders are going to end up with physical copies when I can finally finish a whole project and develop into a physical project. Yeah, that's fair enough, too. I mean, I've always been a huge fantasy person, so doing fantasy writing instead of just working in a fucking warehouse and slaving my life away, I would much rather be doing this and making something something people would enjoy, rather than just slaving my life away like I have been the last 10 years out of high school. I mean, I went to college for 2.5 years to make video games for a living, but I live in the state of Wisconsin. There isn't a single developer here outside of Raven Software, and they don't hire. They just don't hire. I mean, in my graduating class, there was about 30 of us, and not a single person got in. And that was, 2013. So, 7 years ago. Yeah, whatever makes you happy is the entire point. I like writing stories. I like doing D&D campaigns. I like playing games. That's why this channel is mostly just either Tuesdays and Thursdays is when I do these writing streams. I try to have one of my friends around or something going on so I can do more than just talk to myself or at whoever decides to join. But that doesn't always happen. Most of my friends are busy. We work. It's just adult things. That's the entire point behind my Patreon, is I want to do this full time. All I want to do is write, make stories people like, maybe make it into something else. I mean, that's one way of thinking about it, but at the same time, not all stories have been written already. It's only as far as what you decide to do with it. Sure, there's a lot of tropes and cliches, but the reason there's so many tropes and cliches is because they work. I mean, the whole hero fighting evil has been around for however fucking long. We have medieval stories of people fighting dragons and shit like that for how many 100 years, and it's still a topic used in popular media. It's just how it works. Sure, making something unique is... well, it doesn't even have to be something new to write about. It's taking something that is already there and making it your own. That's what I try to do with my writing. I don't always take something that's been used over and over and over again. I mean, a lot of my writing has very recurring themes. Like, well, let's see here. In the world of my my primary story, Rugenda, the fantasy story, in one of the continents, it has a focus on the Seven Deadly Sins, our main characters. And one of the characters that were in the Pathfinder campaign when I was running it was one of those sins. And in the project I'm trying to finish right now, Panic, the Seven Deadly Sins are an entire another focus. It's about taking something that already exists and molding it into something different. Molding it into something unique. So, even if you're not feeling like you're not creative enough, you can still do something really creative with something that has been done before. It's the familiarity of it. The familiarization and reusing something that people can quickly grasp to and understand makes it all the easier and more enjoyable for writing that's been done. Let's see here. Another one of the projects that I'm working on that hasn't really been a main focus of mine is a sci-fi story called Deus, which started out as a Mechton campaign that a friend of mine ran, and it died after 2 sessions because he let us get too powerful too quickly, I guess, and he let us have too much creative control, and after that point, we just never got a chance to get back to it. Yeah, it's basically 100 years in the future, mechs fighting. Like mech combat. Deus suits are what the mech suits are called, and they're typically named after deities, gods, demons, things like that. And the team that we were playing with was a 4-man stack crew, so it was 4v4 team combat, and our team ended up becoming the 4 Horsemen. The character I was playing ended up becoming Death of the 4 Horsemen. I was the only person in the campaign who accidentally actually killed people, because it was frowned upon in the campaigns. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do, and it was fun to play a character who was, I appreciate the thought. It hasn't been a primary focus of mine. It was a really goofy campaign, and the 4 people who were playing couldn't end up in the same room together most of the time. 3 of us lived together. That was the problem. The DM and 4 players. 3 of us lived together. The other 2 were either suffering from huge bouts of depression and anxiety and weren't able to leave their house, and the other one never did anything but work. Like, he was working 80 plus hours a week and didn't do anything outside of work. He would always take everybody extra shifts, and that was it. So we never got together to continue the campaign, even though it was fun as hell to do. The guy I was playing was physically weak, but kind of evil. It's fun to play moral gray areas and stuff like that. So, I mean, our war was just a really arrogant guy with a mech coated in gold. Just gaudy as fuck. He called himself Handsome Chuck, and his mech literally just had the face with a shit-eating grin on it. Yeah, I love D&D campaigns and tabletop and stuff like that. That's why I'm developing my own personal engine, Soulbound, or Soulblade, sorry. I've been playing and reading a lot of different stuff recently. I just started reading Soul Eater last week, and I'm already on the third to last chapter, and I'm just getting back into old series that I used to enjoy and rereading them so I can find more inspiration and stuff like that. Soul Eater was a good one because I'm trying to finish my Panic series, or continue putting chapters out for Panic, and Panic has a heavy focus on mentality and psychological problems and stuff like that. Yeah, I can probably think of the board game you're talking about, and it's It was pretty good, but you don't understand a goddamn thing that's going on. I think it was Heroescape. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta Google this now. Yes, it was definitely Heroescape or something along those lines. No, I'm thinking of a different one. Oh, that's gonna bother me. Yes, I know which one you're talking about. That's the one I'm thinking about too, but I cannot remember the name for the life of me. I'd have to pull up a like Tabletop Simulator. I know I have it on there. Let's see here. I do have it installed. Fantastic. I haven't played Tabletop Simulator in like 8 months, but I still have it installed for some reason. View my subscriptions. I know it's on here somewhere. And it's gonna bother me until I remember the name of that game. Isaac. What on here? I never even got a chance to play. No. Oh, okay. The original Dungeons and Dragons board game. Okay. Right. That wasn't the one I was thinking. Hold on. The one I had a long time ago. I have Heroescape on here too. God damn. Where is it? I'm 6 pages out of 10 pages of games in. I get to play none of them. It's going to bother me until I find it, and I know that for a fact. It's just going to bother me. Because it was from back in the 90s. Yeah, it's been around a while. Hero Quest, that's the one I'm thinking. I know I was close. I was really close. Yeah, that guy right there. Oh, that's the wrong tab. Oh well. That's the one I was thinking. God damn. I don't want that. I want the image. Give me the box. Here we go. Damn, why can't you just give me the image? Damn. Yes, this one. This is from back in the goddamn 90s. I had this, and I had no fucking idea what it was. My mom just bought it for me. At like a thrift store. This is from way back in the 90s. It's as close as to D&D as I got until I graduated high school. Yeah, it's not the original, like, tabletop game, but it is the original board game that they made based on the tabletop. So it's pretty old. God, Hero Quest, that is so goddamn old. And yeah, I understand the sentiment. I'm 28 as of last month, and I feel old as hell myself. Ugh. Let's see, what else do we got here? Close Steam again. So many goddamn things on this computer. But yeah, as I said, if you're on my Twitch, just down below there will be a Patreon link. It just says support me on Patreon. Yeah, I'm already at that point. I've been at that point for a very long time. Mentality is already degrading, mostly because of stress of working and all that bullshit. So, I'm not looking forward to hitting 30. I mean, yeah. Let's see here. What else am I working on? Where did my files go? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Panic, tabletop engine. That's right. So the game idea I was working on, I also have a game idea called Slayer. think Thief, like the original Thief games, or damn, I have it. I just played it recently and the name just skipped my mind. Dishonored, yeah. So think first-person, stealth-styled gameplay, but you're hunting monsters. Not killing people, you're hunting monsters. Eldritch, werewolves, vampires, stuff like that. It has a focus on stealth because you're just a fucking human. You don't have superpowers, you don't have anything like that, you have to just kill Eldritch. The best you have are the tools you carry, the weapons you carry, whatever training you focus on, and the closest thing to magic are these slips of paper that have sigils on them that have one-time cast abilities, and none of them are extremely powerful. So it has a focus on how you complete the level is up to you, but if you decide to just fight head-on, prepare to die a lot. That's the entire point of it. All the details and stuff are on that Patreon site. Check it out. You don't have to support me. I would like if more people supported me. You can follow me if you'd like, at the very least, and then you can check out the updates when they come out. Yeah, I play a lot of Dark Souls, and I have played a lot of that genre of game. I bought Sekiro during the winter sale, and, yeah, I haven't actually reached the first real boss yet. I am just getting my ass handed to me. I will say, though, I grew up on Tenchu when I was a little kid. It is the ultimate Tenchu game. Hands fucking down. If it had more of a focus on the whole assassination missions thing and stuff like that, it would just be a Tenchu game and it would play perfectly. It's not about screwing up. It's who you play it with. So the best part about D&D in my eyes is who you play with. Because if you're playing with a bunch of people who just do min-max builds and play it to do nothing but combat or nothing but making money in the game and stuff like that, it's not fun. If you're not playing a campaign for a story and doing really stupid shit, you're not having fun. There is no screwing up in D&D if you're playing it right. Yeah, you can roll low. It's just fun to play. Even if you don't get it. I have a lot of friends who hated D&D and had never played it, but as soon as they started playing it, they couldn't stop. It was just a blast. It's who you play it with, not just how you play. It's what the DM does with your rolls. Like, when we roll ones and we fuck up things, our DMs like to do hilarious shit. A lot of the time it's, party damage and stupid things like that. I have had one instance, I was running a campaign, one of the earlier tests for building my Rugendo world, and playtesting and stuff like that. Black metal character. I'm not sure which tabletop you could be referring to then. But, going back, one of the instances, the very first combat I put them through, they were just fighting wolves. That's it. Just fighting wolves. And the rogue decided to climb a tree and shoot at them with his crossbow. He passed the rolls and stuff like that just fine to get into the tree, and then they eventually started coming after him because he was shooting at them. Oh. So you were playing a pre-made character. That's even less fun. It really is. Playing a character who is set in stone is boring. Really, really fucking boring. You have to play a character drawn up by yourself, or it's just not enjoyable. Because at that point, you're expected to be a character someone else written up. Okay. Yeah. I mean, even stuff like that, it still drags down the personalities like that. But as I was saying, so your friend's a writer too, yeah. That's the entire reason I got behind putting my story into a Pathfinder campaign and running it with my friends. But as I said, this guy climbed up a tree, and he was killing these wolves with his crossbow, and they started to attack him instead. So he tries to shoot straight down, ends up shooting himself in the foot because of a critical fail, rolls out of the tree, lands on top of the last wolf, and kills it with fall damage. It's just dumb shit like that is way more fun. And especially if you have creative players. Another campaign I was running, a friend of mine was running with a great bow, very similar to the ones out of the Dark Souls games. It pretty much fires lances. And he shot at an enemy who was hiding behind a tree. The lance got stuck in the tree, barely poking through, so the enemy didn't move. He stayed hidden from our other archer. So our tank for that party, he decided walk up to it with his warhammer and rolled a max crit strike to hit the lance and impaled the guy on the other side. And just killed him that way. End combat. And that's one of the funnest things that they decide to do when they're not fucking with my world. Yeah, it's all about rolls. D&D is what you make it. I rolled very, very interestingly against what they wanted to do. It's not just about, okay, I have this ability, I can just do this. It's, how creative are you? So, yeah. It actually happens in one of the worlds. Yeah, that's always a possibility. Again, it's who you play with and how fun they want to, or how much fun they want to have with it. And that's the biggest thing I miss about running D&D campaigns and being in D&D campaigns, is being creative, making characters that I can write about. Hell, on my Patreon, I have several character backgrounds that I've written for characters that I've played, and some of them were edgy, I suppose. Thank you for the follow, by the way. And they ended up doing just some hilarious shit. I mean, one of them, I played a lawful evil drow monk, and after several dozen sessions, she ended up being lawful neutral. She had a shift towards good because of the things she ended up having to do. And during the things that had to be done, all sorts of hilarious shit happened because of my DM. And it's just the fun he had. We wanted to, and it's just nearly impossible to get people in the same room. Half of my friends are either always busy or super fucking lazy. So the best we can usually manage is doing game streams like Siege, like we did the other day, or just stuff like that. And even then, it's few and far between. But it's 6:30. I'm pushing my 30-minute timer on here. I appreciate you chatting with me, and thank you for anybody who's watching still. Otherwise, check out my stuff on my Patreon. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like. I'm trying to post a lot more often than I have been. The holidays were hectic. I've been sick as hell for over a month now. And yeah, I'm going to try and get back to this. Otherwise, I do these streams just about my writing every Tuesday, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So, yeah, I got some stuff I got to do the rest of the night. I got a lot of cleaning to do. I got to do a lot of laundry and stuff like that as well. So, I will be back here on Thursday if something doesn't come up and I end up doing a game stream with people. Unlikely, but it's possible. Either way, I appreciate it. and you guys have a good night.